Hi guys, pick a card reading time. The topic for this video is going to be what blessings in love and romance are headed to you at this time. There are three groups to choose from. Group one is the red and white striped heart. Group two is the yellow and blue striped heart. And group three is the red and yellow polka dot hearts. Up next is a photo of these hearts to help you better make your selection. There are timestamps in the description box of the video, and I will see everyone in just a minute for group one. Hi group one. You chose the red and white striped heart. So let's see what blessings in love and romance should you anticipate that are headed to you at this time. Okay, we got friendship, reconciliation, and energy. So it feels like somebody that you had been getting to know, maybe like a mutual crush, or you'd gone out on a few dates or like conversations, or started to get into kind of flirty territory, and maybe the person was like, I just want to be friends, or they kind of like pulled back their energy a bit. The communication between the two of you's not been the greatest. It feels like this is going to kind of take a turn for the better. This is somebody that it feels like they've taken that amount of time that was necessary. Then this doesn't feel like a total no contact or anything where they like totally let you down. It feels like you were just sort of skimming the surface of what was possible between the two of you, and they kind of pumped the brakes in this situation. This is somebody that has now it's coming through this reconciliation. They've come to their senses. So it feels like this is somebody that's like, what was I thinking? Kind of not just leaping head first into this connection, going with the flow. Like they got a bit cautious, they got a bit skittish, they got cold feet for a minute. And so this is something where it feels like this person is gonna recover the situation very beautifully. Something where it's not like they're just going to, start to kind of tiptoe towards you. This energy of energy kind of speaks to a very empowered stance that they're going to take. So it feels like it's something where not only is there going to be, kind of a resurgence in your communication, or, something that kind of indicates that there's a lot more fascination with you, interest in you overall, but it feels like this is somebody, that is going to be very proactive and assertive, where in the past they were kind of like cautious. It may have taken a lot of courage to like approach you in the first place, and they thought that they were ready for whatever could unfold. Or it is possible that this was like a friend and that developed feelings for you, and so they were fully on board with the friendship, but then catching romantic feelings, that really caught them off guard, and that might have led to this kind of like wobbly communication between the two of you. And so it feels like this is something, it's a blessing, because this is somebody that is no longer empowering that current of fear, not nearly as much as they were. And so it feels like there really is a chance for the two of you to metamorphosize in this connection, to kind of like create more stability between the two of you, but then definitely like both of you kind of wanting the same thing, spread your wings and fly in the same direction. As far as somebody that might have even like those feelings that they had for you, even if you'd like you'd gone out like on a couple dates, you'd hung out with this person, or you were like flirting back and forth, it's almost like the butterflies that they felt within kind of scared them, and so they pulled back. This is somebody that's not resisting that anymore, because it feels like it's something that that distance is something that has not been able to kind of quiet that feeling of the butterflies within. And so this is somebody that's like, all right, they've come to their senses, and it's like, better just give in to this. This is somebody that doesn't want this circumstance to be like a total missed opportunity, and they're not happy that they've like put themselves in the friend zone. and they don't want to like miss the opportunity to explore something more with you. So let's see what else you need to know about this. Okay, we've got expectation and relief. Yeah, that's a beautiful confirmation there with this butterfly on this expectation card. Do expect this person to not just kind of proceed forward in like a wishy-washy energy. This is something where the communication, all this blue, all this throat chakra here in this relief card, their words, like the way in which they speak to you, promises that are made, and then like steps to follow through, or like plans in order to accelerate your connection, or maybe get together, planning dates, planning things like that, and actually following through on it. It feels like it's the kind of thing that is going to help you to sort of understand that this person was just sort of, they were acting very much in accordance with kind of some sort of inner turmoil, some sort of inner instinct that felt something for you, felt a lot of something for you, and they kind of panicked. That just indicates they're human. Not everybody that moves forth with confidence is kind of like, okay, I'm just going to proceed forward confidently every single step of the way. This is something that it feels like, though, that this person making the effort to kind of turn things around, or kind of sort of jumpstart the connection, or like move it forward in some sort of way, they're not going to bring in like half-hearted efforts or like low efforts towards you. This person is like very aware of the fact that they're going to have to speak up or miss out, and so they understand that this energy where the momentum between the two of you, it kind of got sidetracked, that's on them. And so this is somebody, again, that is like they've surrendered to that feeling of butterflies. They are giving into that incredibly, and so it's something that is going to really be obvious in terms of the way in which they talk to you, and the way in which they may help to kind of talk you through any sort of hesitation about like, okay, I don't want to get my hopes up, because I remember, when things were starting to progress between the two of us before, and then, I was kind of like put on hold, or, you sort of backed off. This is somebody that anticipates like it's going to take, a series of conversations, or like consistent sort of words, and then following through, like making plans and following through, in order to be able to kind of balance this connection out. But it feels like it's something that can actually sort of, you can become stronger through this, like it almost this kind of like a false start, or a lot of raw potential between the two of you. This person is now like ready inside of themselves to actualize that fully in a way that it feels like it's a blessing, because you're going to see in some sort of way that this person, like if they had kept being consistent, had kept kind of moving forward towards you, when they originally approached, or before they kind of like got freaked out and had to sort of like pull back, or retreated in some sort of way, that this is something that, yeah, you might have, had that consistency with one another, but there's almost something within the way this person is able to kind of speak their truth, hear you speak about your truth and kind of emotions without flinching, that's going to help you to understand that this is somebody that in this period of time where maybe they're just like things are moving too quickly, or they've kind of just maybe just redirected the nature of the conversation just to friendship, and stopped with all the flirtation, or whatever that kind of looks like for you. You're going to understand that this person has like gone through, like their throat chakras had an upgrade in some sort of way. They've come to the realization that if they don't like change their tune, they're going to miss out on this. And so it feels like it's the kind of thing that it's a blessing, because now you're going to experience kind of potential moving forward with somebody who's gone through an upgrade within themselves. So let's get one more card and see what else you need to know about this. Okay, we've got trust your wisdom. Yeah, so again, this is somebody that it feels like they are wiser now that they have kind of like interfered with the momentum that the two of you had going in the first place, something that drew them towards you initially, this curiosity that they pursued actively. Or, you know, if this is a friend that like developed feelings for you, you know, they really liked the friendship, they really liked the experience with one another. And this is somebody then that also, in the midst of that liking the experience, they were caught off guard by something, feelings that came on very suddenly, very quickly. You know, it may be that, you know, you were in one another's lives to kind of like catalyze transformation, these butterflies that are showing up. You know, that kind of speaks to even this owl sort of like seeing in the dark, you know, seeing beyond the surface in a way that it may be the kind of thing like the utmost potential between the two of you is a connection that doesn't just kind of meet the two of you where you are and you move forward in a linear way. But this could be the type of circumstance where it's kind of like, okay, you know, you're encountering one another in order to kind of crack one another open beyond sort of the limits within, beyond, you know, kind of self-talk or pessimism, guardedness or fear, needing to confront those things in order to choose to like open up at the heart space, to charge forth in the direction of potential rather than empower that fear. And so it feels like it's the kind of thing that long term with this individual, it may be something that this could be a blessing because you're in the early stages of experiencing a connection that truly can withstand the storms of life, because this is somebody that will be demonstrating to you right up front, not that they're coming back with their tail between their legs at all, but that this is somebody who has gone through some kind of process of like, they've transformed kind of the ways in which they give in to impulse. This is somebody that, you know, has kind of is evolving the way in which they're going to be able to speak and communicate and open up to you. And it feels like that is going to be very noticeable. This energy of wisdom, they've alchemized something within, fear into determination, wounds into wisdom in some sort of way. And it feels like you're going to be glad that they kind of like took a step back, or just sort of like redirected the nature of the interactions to something more casual, and now they're going to try and kind of, you know, reintroduce that element of romance, because you're going to see the difference in like a handful of conversations with this person. You know, it's kind of like a trend moving forward that like, yeah, this is somebody who, you know, has gone through some kind of process. They've felt that fear, they responded to it, but then they talk themselves off a ledge in some sort of way. So they're going to be able to talk relief into you and into this situation, because it's somebody who has like done that for themselves first. And so it feels like you're going to be very thankful that kind of there was almost like a detour between the two of you, because this is somebody that has now kind of gone through an upgrade within themselves. And that can indicate again that, you know, if you do become like a full-fledged romantic couple, that this isn't like a situation you're just going to stagnate or plateau, but this is the type of person that can be very dynamic with you. You know, they can grow and evolve with you, that they, you know, you may challenge one another in different sorts of ways, catalyze these different personal transformations, but this is somebody that can stay the course with that. They're not just going to feel triggered and kind of run and that's it, but it's like this is somebody that will feel triggered and kind of like problem solve their way through it. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got N O D Z P T H A W L M S J V and U. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the yellow and blue striped heart. So let's see what blessings in love and romance are headed to you at this time. Okay, we've got happiness, journey, and pilgrimage. Okay, so it feels like you are about to meet Mr. Right or Ms. Right. Um, this is the experience of two people who have been walking perhaps very different paths in life. You've had your ups and downs. You've had character shaping moments through life experience and through love. And you are now properly attuned within yourselves, or like the stars have aligned in some kind of way that now it's time for you to meet. Or this could be somebody that you already know that is about to kind of like recognize you on a deeper level, or you will recognize them. Something that could even involve like a person that you're talking to, that you're dating and you're getting to know. And this is kind of like that moment of falling in love happens, but it's something deeper than just kind of like, okay, I like you, you know, you're fun to be around, you're cute, you make me feel good, and so I think this is love. This is something that is almost, this could be the love of your life, like for you and this person, like long term, looking back on this particular connection. This is something that it feels like is going to be a defining moment that might not even be recognized until like way further down the road. Like this could definitely be somebody that you're with long term. This could be like future spouse, long term partnership, like the person you're with for the rest of your life and they're with you for the rest of their life. And it's like decades from now, you're able to have that kind of perspective of like, you're the best thing that has happened to them, and they're the best thing that has happened to you in romance. Like that feeling of kind of love blooms within, but then as the years kind of progress forward and you have other experiences with one another, as that relationship develops, as that love develops, or like you get married and you live together as like a couple, as husband and wife, or, you know, whatever that sort of ultimate union would look like for the two of you. It's something that is not just bringing a sense of like, yeah, we work well with one another, let's enter into like a marriage almost as like a transactional kind of relationship, or, you know, it makes sense in a mundane way, in like a business capacity. This is something that is almost a connection where you both would look at this with a sense of relief and gratitude that it hadn't worked out with anyone else. Or even if you'd had like great love affairs with other people, it's like this connection stands apart. This may be something that is even kind of the makings of this sort of connection where you're with each other long term, and at the end of your lives, you're like, one lifetime with you is not enough. And so this is the beginning of what will become a past life love story. But you get to experience like the fullness of these different aspects of happiness in the here and now with one another. And this is either someone that you're like, you're both headed in the same direction with these two figures like on their own little journey, you know, journey and pilgrimage. They're like doing their own thing. They're not just kind of floating by in life. It's, you know, you've each been through some things in life, in love. You are in the right time in your lives, or in your personal journey, to where when the doors of love open and you're like on the brink of meeting this person, or it's somebody that you're like kind of just starting to get to know, and maybe you're like, yeah, I like them, they're cute, they're cool, it'd be nice, you know, to date, to get to know them. And it's like, unbeknownst to you and unbeknownst to this person at this particular point in time, this is like the love of your life. It's like the greatest love. And it almost feels like that there may be sort of this experience of like the heart space opening, or you encountering one another, and then that love story begins. But the fullness of that, it's not something that you're going to realize as that ultimate blessing until like a decade goes by, 20 years go by, 30 years go by, and you're looking back and like, that was it. That was that moment. That was that life-changing moment as far as love is concerned. And you're like right there at the brink of that beginning. So let's see what else you need to know. Okay, we've got embodiment and rest. Yeah, this is the embodiment of what love should be like. And it feels like it's the kind of thing, this is going to be a slow opening. You're about to fall in love with someone or meet the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, or you've just kind of like recently encountered one another. It's just starting, or it's just on the brink of starting. But it's the kind of thing that like who you become in the midst of this connection, who this person becomes in the midst of this connection. It's like love takes on a whole different beautiful quality that it simply couldn't with others because they weren't the right person. This energy of rest is almost like your search ends with this person. You're right there. You're right on the brink. The person that has the key to your heart and you have the key to theirs, both of these cards having keys here at the bottom, is like when this door of love unlocks between the two of you and you both step forward excitedly, consciously, willingly, it's the kind of experience that love and romance, it feels like, will become kind of like a grounding force, and the rest of the world around the two of you will just kind of like turn on its own axis. But there's something between the two of you, this energy of like understanding, this essence, this feeling, the experience that accompanies that, action steps taken, a sense of inner calm and tranquility that again is going to be like, you're both going to be on that same page as far as like, this is the love of my life. And it's not something either of you would have the capacity to like really say that to be true at this point, if it's somebody that you've kind of like recently met or you're just starting to get to know, or if it's somebody that's like you're right on the edge of that kind of like that meeting. The love story begins. It's not something in the moment where you're going to be like, oh, it was love at first sight. Like, it may be something very profound, but it's like, this is a connection which deepens with time. This is something that ripens with time. This is like divine counterparts. High level soulmate. If you like the term twin flame, this would be like true twin flame, although it doesn't feel that it brings any of those kind of like destructive elements, a push and pull, periods of no contact and separation that like twin flame connections do. This is something that is just kind of, it flows like water being poured into a chalice. It's that kind of experience of love that you're like right on the brink of it. Or you've just stepped into that story and you don't even know it yet. So let's get one more card and see what else you need to know. Okay, we have relax. Yeah, so rest, relax. This will be illuminated soon. This is a magnetic energy with this full moon. You and this person are being like pulled together. Your trajectory is leading you in the same direction. This could be the person, like if you've ever heard that idea about the red string of fate that connects two souls who are destined to meet. It doesn't matter what happens, how it tangles, how it stretches, what circumstances bring two people where. It's like when they are supposed to meet, when that love is supposed to happen, nothing can stop it. It's fate. This is that kind of experience here. And unlike other people that you and this person might have encountered before that were like destined meetings for lessons or, certain blessings as far as romance, partnership are concerned, this is something that it's the love to outshine all other loves. This is the greatest love. This is like the love of your life, and you are that for this person. And again, rest, relax. This is nothing that you have to like scan the horizon for. It's closer than you would even imagine. Like the time is now. You're like right there at that nearly complete of the process of kind of whatever your journey in life overall has been like. It leads you to this precise moment in time. Same with that person. Whatever the journey has looked like for them, it leads them to this precise moment in time. Yeah, life might go on for the two of you in a very like ordinary sense, but life will never be the same again once you step into this love story with one another fully. And it's not like, oh, it'll be changed for the worse. It's like it's changed for the better. This is something that each of you has been consciously and unconsciously like hoping to find, seeking, searching for. And it's like the search ends here. It's closer than you would imagine. And this energy of rest, relax. The blessing also might be that this person puts you in full receptivity mode. They're very assertive with you. And that can definitely, again, kind of set this person apart from others that might have made you feel you had to chase or perform for love, or that your love wasn't good enough. This is somebody that will help to put those untruths to rest. They'll show you something very different, and you will show them something very different as well. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We got A, B, F, N, L, P, E, V, N, G, O, J, Z, O, and C. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. We chose the yellow and red polka dot heart. So let's see what blessings in love and romance are headed to you at this time. Okay, we have power, quest, and mercy. So it feels like you are about to meet someone who's going to be very easy to talk to, very easy to open up to, but also somebody that is going to give you the opportunity to flex certain skills that you have been working on, that are the results of wisdom you've had to crystallize from wounds in the past, mistakes you made as far as who you opened up to or gave your heart to or allowed into your life or took a chance on, that ended in disappointment and heartbreak, that caused you to have to develop as a person, maybe set you on this kind of quest for healing, a process of having to like create your own closure, learn certain lessons, learn things the hard way. Whatever the kind of like bumpy roads were as far as like romance was concerned, that has brought you into a space of like snatching back your power, reclaiming your personal power, rising from the ashes of your experience like the phoenix that you are. You're about to encounter somebody that, again, is very easy to talk to, very easy to open up to, but also presents as kind of the right opportunity or person for you to remain within your power as you determine you're the one that kind of gives that permission, grants that access to this person. Yes, you can approach. Yes, you can come in closer. Yes, I will open up to you. Or like if you set a boundary, this isn't somebody that's just going to, feel thwarted and kind of scurry off in the other direction. They're actually going to respect you for that. And this person, it feels like there's romantic potential with it, but this might not be your like forever person, but it's somebody who's very like necessary along your personal journey in order for whatever you've been working on so hard within yourself, in order to, again, kind of like heal certain wounds, create closure for yourself from very like painful circumstances, very unfair circumstances as far as romance is concerned, things that you carry a lot of like shame about, or that were very hurtful, or it just doesn't like sit well with you. Like this version of you kind of cringes when you look back on those previous situations and kind of what you've had to do in order to just keep moving forward, keep your mind and your heart open to the idea of love. This is somebody coming in that it feels like you're going to be in such a place of empowerment that it's going to really provide you with confirmation that you made the right choice choosing yourself. For some of you, if you're just getting like back into dating again after you've taken a period of time to be single, to introspect, or to kind of lick your wounds from previous circumstances, this is something where you're not going to have to try very hard in order to be like, okay, I don't want to repeat of the past, or to kind of like exercise better discernment, to use better judgment, to kind of practice what you preach as far as ways in which you've tried to kind of heal or move on from things or make better choices. It feels like this is almost like an experience on easy mode with somebody that because it feels like it might be something that it'll reach a conclusion at some point in time. So it might be like a short-term connection, somebody you talk to for a while, somebody you date for just a little while, or if you end up getting in a relationship with one another, it's a short-term relationship, but it's not going to be the kind of thing where you're going to feel like you wasted your time. It's not going to be the kind of thing where you're parting on bad terms. It's not going to be a lesson. It's a blessing because it's going to help you to see just how much you've like evolved from a person, as opposed to like who you were, the vibe you were putting out, and therefore what you were attracting in, or the aspect of self that you were like embodying in other romantic connections that kind of like led you down some hurtful paths, dark paths, or was just the kind of thing that was like the version of you that experienced substantial disappointment. So let's see what else you need to know about this. Okay, so we've got forgiveness and laughter. Yeah, so it feels like this person's going to be very easygoing, very easy to talk to. But anytime you start to feel triggered, like, okay, is this too good to be true? Like you start to get into a 7 of Cups energy, this person is going to be very forgiving of that. Like they're not passive, but it's the kind of person that has enough like confidence in self, or is very like well-intentioned. They're not trying to put pressure on you to move quickly, open up in ways you're not comfortable with. And it feels like it's the kind of thing that It's going to help you to see that you are in fact making better choices as far as love and romance is concerned. You're choosing something different. This person may be very different from your usual type or expectation. You may have noticed kind of a pattern in the people that you dated before, things that had kind of like lured you towards certain people or had been the big draw or attractor, and yet it always ended up the same way. Things that you have specifically like determined to avoid in future romantic partners based on disappointments in the past. This is somebody that embodies all those qualities that are the opposite of what it is you know is not good for you. What it is you know through firsthand experience is kind of a recipe for disaster, is the kind of thing that in the past had put you in a circumstance where you need to pick up the pieces of the broken heart, or worse. And if you're just getting back into dating again after being single for a period of time, like single by choice, this is somebody that it's going to be a good way to kind of ease back into that experience. This is a very low pressure person. This is somebody that you might even kind of like date this person for a little while, and then you both determine like you're better as friends. You both determine that it was a nice connection or a nice experience, but you're not really like looking for the same thing. And so you go on your separate ways, and it doesn't like require this huge recovery period. It doesn't require this kind of like, okay, what's the lesson here? You know, shedding a bunch of tears and kind of, you know, balled up on the floor, heartbroken, anguished. This isn't that kind of experience. It definitely doesn't seem to be, you know, like long-term partnership, but that is not necessarily like a bad thing. And for those of you that are like really determined, like I'm looking for long-term partner, I'm looking for my person, it feels like this is something that is kind of like, this experience brings you one step closer to that deep and meaningful relationship. Because you've evolved as a person, and it's very necessary to kind of like exercise those skills in real time in order to kind of even sort of understand that you've become that treasure that you were seeking along that quest to heal from something, to make changes, maybe even things aside from love and romance where you've kind of like, you've tried to improve things within yourself, you've tried to better things within yourself. You've created some kind of glow up. And this is now the first person that gets to experience this version of you romantically. And it's that first step in a new direction that it feels like brings you this kind of sense that like, yeah, you're ready for what the world has to offer. You're ready to kind of move enthusiastically in the direction of trusting in yourself, to be able to identify people that will add benefit to your life as opposed to create misery and heartbreak. That you're in a place within yourself of being able to kind of honor those instincts, to draw boundaries or to set the tone and the pace of how things progress. And rather than encounters with people who feel threatened or, you know, it's off-putting to them, those boundaries, this is someone that actually respects that, and they adjust their pace accordingly with you. It feels like this is a blessing because it's also going to help you to kind of shake some sort of pessimism you might have, or that just kind of like a lot of people in the world have at this point in time, that like romance sucks, love isn't real, and, you know, it's just like negativity. This is somebody that helps you see like, no, there's still good people in the world. There's still opportunities for romance. All those doom and gloom people, all those naysayers, they're like vibing on a different frequency. Their reality is not the only reality. And so it feels like this experience is something, this person helps to kind of maybe just help you to laugh off all of that sort of pessimism, or people that are just really down on love. people around you, or even just like people on social media, just people in the world in general at this point. So let's get one more card and see what else you need to know. Okay, we have offer up gratitude. Yeah, so it feels like this is almost the type of connection that you've prayed for, that you've hoped to find. But this isn't your forever person. However, it is the person that helps introduce you to the version of yourself that you've been kind of like cultivating, like this lotus flower kind of. Lotus flowers in nature, they're like pushing up through the mud. It's very like yucky conditions that they're in, but then here comes this like beautiful flower in the midst of all of that. And this is like, this person helps you to see that the efforts that you put in to kind of like push through the mud, push through all of that like heaviness, all those yucky energies inside you, those yucky experiences from the past, that you've become something triumphant and beautiful. That people, romantically speaking, aren't just going to come in and try to like take that away from you, or mess that up, or shove you back down in the mud. And so it feels like this person, because maybe even you're the one that kind of like calls it off with them eventually. They don't end up breaking up with you, or, you know, saying, I think we'd be better off as friends. It's you who does that. It's you who's in the driver's seat. It's you who is determining the pace of things. And not that this person's a pushover and just like mindless and kind of like a yes man, like, sure, whatever you want. But this is the type of circumstance it feels like that is going to be very necessary for you to like fully embody in the light of day, in the presence of another person, real time, what you have been endeavoring to like form yourself into, to push forth, to persevere despite the odds and obstacles. That version of you almost becomes more real when it is encountered by another person who sees and respects that, and also respects when you determine that the course has been completed with that individual, and you don't end on bad terms. It's nothing that is kind of like a huge disappointment or anything where you feel like you wasted your time, or it's a mistake, or it just kind of like moves into toxicity or drama. It's the kind of thing where it's like you're both able to sort of like move forward then, assured that it was like the right thing to do. So this is somebody that is like the first step on like a new path for you, or an experience in romance, having a good time with somebody, that instead of like leaving you in disrepair, leaving you in pieces, it leaves you, or you leave this with a sense of feeling like, yeah, that was a good choice. I trust myself. I trust myself to follow my heart. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got S, E, O, M, E, N, T, H, P, U, and I. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.